Hi dear students, in this video we will see the frequently asked differentiate between questions in pharmacology question papers. The first question is difference between warfarin and heparin. You all know this warfarin and heparin are anticoagulants, but there are some differentiation when we use it clinically. So we will see what are all the difference. Warfarin is an indirect anticoagulant whereas heparin is a direct anticoagulant. Warfarin acts on the vitamin K, whereas heparin acts on fibrin and thrombin coagulant factors. Clinical effect happens in 12 to 72 hours. So when you take warfarin, it will take time, that is 12 to 72 hours to act on our body. Whereas heparin, its clinically effect immediately. So what it means, heparin is used in emergencies, whereas warfarin is used as a not in emergencies. So warfarin is used in long-term therapies, whereas heparin is used for short-term therapies. Warfarin is available in oral form, as you all know that it's available in tablet, whereas heparin it is available in injection form. Warfarin, it crosses the placental barrier and it's present in the breast milk, so it is contraindicated for patients who are pregnant and lactating mothers, whereas heparin doesn't penetrate the placental barrier or the not present in the milk, breast milk, so it is safe during pregnancy and lactation. The antidote for warfarin is vitamin K and antidote for heparin is protamine. It is not 100%, whereas the intravenous route, the bioavailability of the drug is 100%. First pass metabolism effect is present because it passes through the GI tract in oral, whereas IV there is no first pass metabolism occurs. Only moderate to less quantity is administered through orally, whereas the drug can be administered in large quantities in intravenous routes. Oral route is more safe, whereas the intravenous route is less safe. We need no technical assistance in case of oral drug administration, whereas we need technical staff assistance in case of IV route administration. Oral drugs are cheaper and convenient, whereas IV routes are expensive and inconvenient. So this is the difference between oral and IV routes. The next difference is between aspirin and paracetamol. You all know that aspirin and paracetamol comes under NSAID drugs, so non-steroidal inflammatory drugs. But there are some differences in the application of aspirin and paracetamol. What are all they? Aspirin is salicylate derivative, whereas paracetamol is para-aminophenol derivative. Aspirin is irreversible non-selective COX inhibitor, whereas paracetamol is a reversible non-selective COX inhibitor. Aspirin is a potent anti-inflammatory action, that's why it is used in a lot of inflammatory reactions as an anti-inflammatory drug, whereas paracetamol is a poor anti-inflammatory action. The side effect of aspirin is gastric irritation and bleeding, whereas there is no side effects of gastric irritation or ulcer or bleeding present in paracetamol. Aspirin has antiplatelet action, whereas the paracetamol doesn't have any antiplatelet action. There is no specific antidote for aspirin, whereas there is a specific antidote called N-acetylcysteine for paracetamol poisoning. Aspirin is not safe in children, whereas paracetamol is completely safe in children. We'll move on to the next question. Difference between phenobarbital and diazepam. You all know that these two drugs are used as sedatives or hypnotics. It depends upon the dose. So what is the difference here? Phenobarbital comes under barbiturates, whereas diazepam comes under benzodiazepines. Sometimes if they ask difference between barbiturates and benzodiazepines, you can write the same difference between what I have mentioned here. So phenobarbital falls on barbiturates group classification and diazepam falls on benzodiazepine. Phenobarbital has more neuronal depression comparing to the diazepam, whereas diazepam has a less neuronal depression. Phenobarbital has less therapeutic index, whereas diazepam is having a more therapeutic index. So it means more widely used drug is diazepam, whereas phenobarbital is less widely used drugs. Phenobarbital has good anesthesia effect, whereas diazepam has no anesthesia effect even in higher doses. Phenobarbital causes respiratory and cardiac suppression, whereas diazepam has not shown any respiratory or cardiovascular suppression. There is no effect on REM sleep, that is rapid eye movement sleep, in case of phenobarbital, whereas diazepam has a good effect on REM sleep. So this is the difference between phenobarbital and diazepam or barbiturates and benzodiazepines. What is the difference between glibenclamide and metformin? So these two comes under oral hypoglycemic agents. Still there are some differences. What are they? Glibenclamide is a sulfonylurea, whereas metformin comes under the classification of biguanides. The mechanism of action of glibenclamide increases the amount of insulin secreted by the pancreas, whereas mechanism of action on metformin, it increases the body's utilization of insulin. So that's why the glibenclamide is called as insulin secretagogues and metformin is called as insulin sensitizers. The half-life period is 10 hours for glibenclamide and for metformin it is 6.5 hours. Glibenclamide is usually given as once daily and metformin as twice or thrice daily because of the half-life period. The trade name for glibenclamide is Dionil and trade name for metformin is glucophage. What is the difference between morphine and pethidine? You all know both morphine and pethidine comes under opioid drugs. Whereas morphine is a natural opioid and pethidine is a synthetic opioids. They may ask question, what is the difference between morphine and fentanyl? Both are same. Fentanyl comes under the pethidine group. So if you can write the same difference also, it is fine with morphine and fentanyl difference. So morphine is a natural opioid or pethidine or fentanyl is a synthetic opioid. Morphine is a more potent drug, whereas comparing to the morphine, pethidine is a less potent. Morphine causes profound CNS depression, whereas pethidine will not cause CNS depression. Sometimes in higher doses, it may cause CNS stimulation. Morphine has a good antitussive property, so it is used as an antitussive rarely, but whereas pethidine has no antitussive effect. Morphine causes more constipation effect comparing to the pethidine, whereas pethidine or fentanyl causes less constipation effect. Morphine has no anticholinergic effect, whereas pethidine or fentanyl has a anticholinergic effect. Morphine significantly causes neonatal respiratory depression when used in labor. So generally it is avoided in labor. Whereas pethidine or fentanyl will not cause neonatal respiratory depression and so used in labor or during delivery. Difference between estrogen and progesterone. So these two are hormones. And what is the difference here? Estrogen is produced by Graafian follicle, whereas progesterone is produced by corpus luteum. So these two drugs are used as an oral contraceptive pills mostly. So estrogen is controlled by follicle stimulating hormone, that is FSH, whereas the production of progesterone is controlled by luteinizing hormone, that is LH. Estrogen is released before ovulation and progesterone is released after ovulation. The example of estrogen drug is tamoxifen, whereas progesterone, the drug name is progestin. Estrogen is used mostly in breast cancer treatment, whereas the progesterone is used in endometrial cancer. The mechanism of action in estrogen, it prevents the development of ovarian follicle, thereby acting as a contraceptive pill. Whereas progesterone, it prevents the ovulation process, thereby it acts as a contraceptive pill. What is the difference between coagulant and anticoagulant? From the name itself you can write coagulant is an agent that produces coagulation, whereas anticoagulant substance that prevents coagulation. So coagulants, when you take, you have to remember that it will cause thrombosis, so you have to be careful, whereas anticoagulants, it will cause bleeding. The example of coagulants are vitamin K and protamine sulfate, whereas the example of anticoagulants are heparin and warfarin. Coagulants are antidote which is used during abnormal bleeding, and anticoagulants are the drugs which are used during coagulation process, like DVT or abnormal thromboembolism happens in our body, we use heparin or warfarin. Whereas when there is any bleeding due to the heparin overdose or warfarin overdose, we use coagulant, that is vitamin K or protamine, as antidote. Coagulants, it is available in injection form and there is no oral drug available, whereas anticoagulants, it is available in oral and injection form. Difference between halothane and lignocaine, it comes under anesthetic agents. So what is halothane? Halothane, it is a volatile liquid, whereas lignocaine is a non-volatile liquid. Halothane comes under inhalational anesthetics classification, whereas lignocaine comes under local anesthetic classification. Halothane induces anesthesia rapidly but allows quick recovery. So the recovery is faster but it induces anesthesia rapidly. Whereas lignocaine, it depends upon the route of administration, the induction of anesthesia happens, and slow recovery comparing to halothane. Halothane is a weak anesthetic agent, whereas lignocaine is a strong anesthetic agent. Halothane has a side effect of cardiac arrhythmias, whereas lignocaine is used as an antiarrhythmic drug. What is the difference between aspirin and morphine? There is a question which was asked before, is aspirin and paracetamol, and here they have asked the difference between aspirin and morphine. So as you all know, aspirin is a NSAID, whereas morphine is an opioid. Of course, you can write that as also a difference. Aspirin is an NSAID drug, morphine is an opioid. Aspirin, it is acetyl salicylic acid, and morphine is alkaloid. So aspirin is an acid, whereas morphine is an alkaloid. Aspirin prepared from bark of willow tree, whereas morphine is prepared from Papaver somniferum. Aspirin has an anti-inflammatory action and morphine has no anti-inflammatory effect. Aspirin will not cause euphoria or sedation, whereas morphine of course cause euphoria and sedation. Aspirin inhibits prostaglandin synthesis, whereas morphine is an opioid receptor stimulation. Aspirin has no effect on pupil, whereas morphine causes meiosis of the pupil. Aspirin is ulcerogenic, whereas morphine will not cause ulcer, that is non-ulcerogenic. So this is the difference between aspirin and morphine. So you can write the main drug classification here because both of them are from different group. Aspirin is an NSAID, whereas morphine is an opioid. What is the difference between thiazide and furosemide? As you all know, both of them are coming under the same group of diuretics, but still there are some difference. So thiazide is a thiazide diuretics, whereas furosemide comes under loop diuretics. What is the action here of thiazide is it acts on the distal convoluted tubule, whereas furosemide acts on the loop of Henle. Thiazide is a less efficacy diuretics, whereas furosemide is a more efficacy or strong efficacy diuretics. Thiazide causes hypercalcemia, whereas Lasix or furosemide causes hypocalcemia. And the another trade name for thiazide diuretics is chlorothiazide, whereas furosemide it is Lasix. Thank you. See you once again with another set of difference between questions from the pharmacology question paper.